Right, just making this video, purpose of it isn't to, demonize the person, it's directed at, or to really play into any kind of sympathy. I am incredibly sympathetic towards this person, but also at the same time, in my personal opinion, I think what they're doing is more pathetic than anything and just needs to be addressed in a light that's, outside of the echo chamber that they've created. Whether whoever wants to fucking listen to this wants to believe anything I say, you're fine. But the fact of the matter is, a 24-year-old man, or woman, sorry, is harassing a 16-year-old boy, and I think it's reprehensible. Again, sorry for accidentally saying that. I'm going to preface this purely by saying, hey, hello, it's been a while. Sorry about, when I bumped into you like a month ago and I tried being a dickhead and tried going, boom, to be funny, but I don't know if you believe, nobody's in the family's taking anything you're saying seriously, because you've just been digging yourself a hole for fucking years. And again, I will completely acknowledge that you have been completely failed by every adult in your life, and I mean every single one, and I am more than sympathetic towards that, because I also have been failed, and I know that it fucking hurts. My own father was completely alright with making me homeless 6 months ago, or 7, a while ago now. But I'm just going to preface this by saying I don't know and I don't care any of the drama that you led up to what happened. But all I know is the fallout of it has led to you basically excommunicating yourself, or he basically excommunicated you from your entire family, which is fine, honestly. I keep my distance from family as well. I think it's a complete mess that I don't want any part of. I think certain members of the family are incredibly flawed people that I love so much, but I need to focus on my own life. But back to what my understanding of what happened was, from what I've seen from both sides, because you approached me when it was all kicking off and tried, demonizing my brother, which was, you're allowed to be upset, but again, you're in your 20s, you've got to be able to compartmentalize and deal with shit like that. And I know they were insulting your partner, and I know that's hard, and I have a partner, and they've been insulted in some pretty creative ways by people that I know, and it feels like shit, it feels horrible. And I completely admit, my little brother's friends were not being helpful, however, not in an opinionated way. My little brother's friends have been way more supportive of my little brother than you have ever been. Now, and this isn't supposed to come across as some sort of diss or something, it's just genuinely, I want my opinions on the matter publicised, because it's gross. I don't like what you're doing. I think it's horrible, I think it's reprehensible. So my understanding of the situation is there was some sort of argument around the use of racial slurs, and my little brother's friends and my little brother, or our little brother, kind of, for the purposes of comedy, took it the complete wrong direction. And from what I saw, you completely overreacted, and I know it was they personally insulted your partner, but come on, there was months of shit leading up to it. You can't just blame it on a single argument. I've never interacted with your partner, and your partner's probably going to watch this, and I have no bad blood with you in any way, shape or form. I don't know you, I can't say shit. But my little brother, all I know, came out of certain interactions feeling like they were being condescended, feeling like their opinion wasn't being valued, feeling like, which is how, you know, I don't want to bring it all back in 2019. I mean, that's how I felt when everything was kicking off. And of course, I was 13. I was not in the right. I will completely agree to that. But, you know, I came out of a lot of interactions with your online friends who were like 2 years older than me, feeling like my opinion wasn't valued. And to be fair, I wouldn't have valued my opinion either. I was a cringy 13-year-old. But I don't know, it's just all was blown out of proportion, and you could have dealt with it so much in such a better way. You could have just like not brought our mother into this, and apart from all that, you're allowed to have whatever opinion you want on that. At the end of the day, you decided to make an 89-page manifesto on my little brother, my mum. I think apparently I was mentioned in it, but I've only read through the pages that are about my little brother, and they're disgusting. My little brother deals with horrific mental health issues, which affect them in day-to-day life, even today, and they've taken a lot of strength to overcome it, and without divulging too much information, they are responsible for saving a human life. That's the kind of person our little brother is. And, you know, a 14-year-old shouldn't have to deal with that. And they've got a lot of growing pains and shit like that because of experiences in the past and horrible shit that has happened to them. The last thing that ever needs to happen to them is a trusted family member make a 89-page manifesto on them, publicising the fact that they tried killing themselves. And not only that, from what I saw in the fucking manifesto itself, kind of being told that they were faking it, or kind of heavily being implied that it was fake.
Or at least, you know, trying to downplay it, is more the point I was trying to get to.
And I'm willing to put screenshots up here.
Right, this is the nitty gritty, like the part that, you know, is, you know, compelled me to, you know, hold the stance that I hold when it comes to this. The moment I saw this and the moment I saw it, I don't care how much you feel you can explain it away, that is just not the way that you fucking act when your sibling tries to kill themselves. I refuse to censor myself. That is the fact of the matter. That is the morning after my little brother tried taking a fuck ton of pills to kill himself while I was sleeping in the other room. And I was not made aware of this until months later. In fact, I was not made aware of this until all of this came out, that my little brother tried to fucking kill himself. And to be treated with this amount of fucking callousness is disgusting, no matter what way you look at it. I don't care how much you feel you can explain it away. I am ashamed of myself that I wasn't told sooner that this was a thing that happened. Like, especially since I was living with my little brother at the time. It's a horrible, horrible stance to fucking hold. And, you know, there's another point that is made in the document where, you know, our mum said something like on the lines of, oh, when you remember I exist, blah, 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 which I completely agree, completely petty, complete bullshit fucking thing to say to your children. However, you can't be criticising our mother for saying it and then doing the same thing to something that's more serious. Our mother was trying to make some sort of like joke, even though it was like a fucked up thing to say, and she seemed pretty serious. This is so much worse. This is so much worse.
And I do want to acknowledge that my little brother, in certain circles, does go by a different name, and does go by, you know, a female name. However, in day-to-day life, and I'm a person that they trust a lot, they don't care if I refer to them as a male, because they're kind of just on the fence on how they feel about it. And of course, I'm not transgender in any way, shape or form. I am a straight white male. So, I'm, you know, inherently uneducated when it comes to stuff like that, purely because I haven't had to live through it. So me referring to my little brother as a he or as a brother is not an attack on their identity in any way, shape or form. I didn't think that would be brought up, I just felt like out of respect I needed to mention that. But honestly, I think the way that you have approached this entire situation is fucked, especially for someone who is fucking 24. I think, oh, sorry, I'm really bad with dates and shit like that. But yeah, no, it's, again, whatever drama, I hate using that word. This isn't fucking 2019 fucking gay YouTube. This isn't fucking Jeffree Star fucking, oh, James Charles touched me. This isn't that, and I'm not going to treat it like that, which is how objectively you treat everything, like it's YouTube drama. You make videos formatted the exact same fucking way that YouTubers like Repzion format their YouTube videos and fucking Turkey Tom or whatever. And I just think it's embarrassing. You've caught yourself in this echo chamber. You've got a lot of people who don't know fuck all about the situation, telling you that you're strong and you're this and you're that. You are a very strong individual. Like, you have had to go through shit completely blind without anyone guiding you. Again, I will completely acknowledge that our mother completely failed you. However, in the specific situation in 2019, which, again, I hate dredging up the way that you reacted to it and the shit that you did, honestly just made it worse. Like, made it so much harder to trust you after it. It could have blown over, and you were allowed to be upset. What you weren't allowed to do, well, you were allowed to do, but what we're allowed to be upset about is how you called the police, told them that my mum is a cannabis user, tried getting our little brother taken away from her, among other things. Like, you could have honestly just not done that, really. Nobody made you fucking do that. Your hand was not forced in any way, shape or form. I completely realised, you know, of course you were living with our, I hate to say stepdad, at the time, and that guy is a absolute piece of shit. Honestly, one of the worst people I know, and he, of course, definitely, you know, put pressure on you, and I'm not blaming you per se for the way you acted. I just think that honestly, it was honestly objectively the worst way you could have dealt with that specific situation. Again, shit you had to deal with at that point in time, not your fault. Again, it's your actions that are the problem here. That was a decision purely made out of either frustration or just impulsive emotion, which, again, you're allowed to be. I know more than anyone, everyone in this family is, you know, prone to bouts of extreme emotion, in one way or another. Doesn't make it acceptable in Mum's way, does not make it acceptable for either of our dads, does not make it acceptable for me, doesn't make it acceptable for you. And same with my little brother. My little brother, most definitely, and I have had nothing to do with this at all, definitely prone to bouts of anger and extreme sadness and depression or whatever, like, which leads to them saying, you know, bad things. But who do you think can do more harm? A 15-year-old who is deeply suicidal, or a 24-year-old who is actively looked up to? Because at that point in time, not being funny with you, you were someone that our little brother looked up to, and you kind of just completely destroyed that trust. There's no other way to put it. Through your actions, through your attitude, through the people that you surround yourself with. All I'm saying is, it seems that every other week there's a new paedophile that you're exposing. I kind of live in the real world. I don't bump into that many paedophiles. That's not normal. Bumping into a new paedophile every week, and some of them used to be your friends or whatever, and I don't know. This is out of tune. That's not normal. And you think it is normal, because quite frankly, Mum didn't raise you. Nobody fucking raised you except for yourself and YouTube. So a lot of your perception of reality seems to be shaped by YouTube. I'm completely using YouTube as like a blanket statement representing the entire internet, by the way. Which is fine. That's not your fault. That's your escape. That's the only world you know. That's fine. But I'm sorry, a 24-year-old taking out frustrations like that on a fucking 16-year-old in the way that you have is, no matter what way you cut it, disgusting. Again, publicising this, the fact that they tried killing themselves. If I tried killing myself, the last thing I'd want is a bunch of fucking furries on the internet knowing. And let me just say, nothing against the furry community, as long as you're not touching animals, you don't fetishize animals in any way, shape or form, and you're not, you know, an unemployed fucking degenerate piece of shit that smells of onions. You're good in my books. If you're a good person and I can have a conversation with you and you're not a piece of shit, that's what I value in people. I don't give a fuck if you subscribe to this really weird fucking community on the internet. That's got nothing to do with me. But however, that is the people you surround yourself with, and I'm sorry, you can only be as good as the people you surround yourself with. Actual fact. I've surrounded myself with some horrible people in my time, and they have made me worse people. Right now, I'm surrounded by people that make me a way better person. I genuinely, like my friends that I smoke with, amazing people. One of my best friends at the moment is a fucking athlete. He's a weightlifter. And he's a fucking good weightlifter. Bro looks like fucking Kratos. I love that man so much. I got friends that, there was a friend of mine that was a pilot and then got bored of it and now is like doing something. I've got like, one of my best friends, one of my housemates, lived in Australia as a backpacker, Australia and New Zealand, for like 3 years. Like, that's making it sound like it's all about me, but you can only be as good as the people you surround yourself with. The people I've surrounded myself with now are genuinely inspirational people. I don't think you can say the same. Every single person that you interact with is also a sad piece of shit. I don't want to say that. A sad piece of shit that's only home is the internet. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you have caught yourself in this horrific echo chamber, and it's immature, it's stupid. I don't know. And before I get too carried away, I'm gonna be real with you. I live like 3 minutes down the road from you. If you want to take this up with me in person, you're free to pop over. You're free to come over. I'm happy to talk to you. But I don't want you treating this genuine damage that you've done like some sort of fucking YouTube drama, sitting me down and going like, oh no, I said this, I said that. I don't care. I don't care. At the end of the day, again, you're a 24-year-old who is taking all of these years worth of repressed emotions and, you know, feelings of betrayal out on a fucking 15-year-old. They're 16, oh no, 17 now, fuck. But the point is not what my little brother has done, may have done. And from what I've seen, they've been a bit immature, sure. but it's very blatantly obvious that everything they've said pretty much has been out of some sort of humour.
With exceptions, of course. Of course, I know you're probably going to bring up, you know, the fucking, you know, tweet they did calling your partner a piece of shit, among other things. They haven't 100% of the time been humorous. They have had points where they've just been like, fuck you, which is more than fair considering the stress that you've placed on them.
And quite honestly, it's a coping mechanism for them. Humour is their coping mechanism. It's the only way they can see they can deal with it. Like when a fully grown person is attacking them, the only thing they feel like they can do is take the piss out of it. And I'm a person that understands our little brother more than fucking anyone on this planet. We have the same birthday, we were born 2 years apart. We've lived together our entire lives. Like, we're so tight that when, you know, the fucking government was gonna separate us, they went, actually, that would severely hinder both of their fucking development. Like, I know our brother more than anybody, and you know them really well as well. Quite honestly, you've never really been in either of our lives for neither of our fault. I'm not going to blame 10-year-old me or 12-year-old you for us never really talking or never really seeing eye to eye. We have had very different upbringings and very different experiences with life, but I've tried to relate with you. Like, I went from being very like, oh, I don't like any of this gay shit, to actively used to enjoy watching RuPaul's Drag Race with you. A bit of context is required. Me and my little brother were raised by severely, terminally conservative older people. So, of course, our stances, without being, you know, actually, you know, exposed to, you know, the LGBT community or whatever, we just by default have a good attitude about it, or at least I didn't. Our brother less so. Like, since I've become a lot more open-minded because of you, in a weird fucked up way. However, you are insanely close-minded, and again, you're more than entitled to be upset about whatever my little brother's done, but you can't expect to not have to face the consequences of it. It being your actions. That's just stupid. Like, again, I was willing to hear you out when you tried dragging me into everything, when it all kicked off with my little brother. You were the first person to reach out to me. My little brother was like, I want to process this on my own, because I've basically just lost a family member. My little brother never reached out to me until I reached out to them and was like, what the fuck happened? Can you tell me in your words what happened, and I can figure out some sort of middle ground. When you tried roping me into it, all I needed to hear from my little brother was, look at this 89-page manifesto, go to these pages, read what they said about my suicide attempt. And it disgusted me. I don't care whatever else you have to say. Nothing is topping how disgusting a move that is. And sorry, you making a response video to your own video that was unnecessary. Oh, 1 year later. Oh, I'm a survivor. This is me 1 year after the most horrible thing ever has happened to me. That's just embarrassing. Like, that you're still hung up on a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, and you're still trying to garner sympathy for fucking them over mentally, fucking them over. Like, I don't know if you realise this, they're gonna find trusting people incredibly hard because of you. Like, you were a person that they held in such fucking high esteem, and I completely abandoned you back in like 2019. They're the person who reached out to you when no one else would, and you just threw them away. That's fucking ridiculous. And because, I'm sorry, like, from what I saw, again, this is not an attack on your partner, from what I saw, the proof that my little brother sent me, your partner was being genuinely condescending and genuinely an asshole, and I don't give a fuck of what the rules of your Discord server are. Like, you don't talk to people like that. Like when you were talking to me about it, you were just like saying like, oh yeah, but they broke this, they didn't respect this rule in my Discord server, and then started an argument about it. But it's also like, get a life. You're 24, you've never worked in your life, but that doesn't really play into anything that I'm saying. The point is, you don't have a job. You literally bum off the government to buy video games. You're the type of person where you'll buy 2 copies of a game just because you want you want a sealed version of it, which is fine if you also have a career and you also have other shit that you do with your life. Like video games, I still play video games. I've got my fucking PlayStation here. I've been playing Minecraft the last fucking few weeks. Video games are not the issue here to you. Like, you're allowed to be passionate about video games and everything, but that's your entire life, and that's also not a bad thing. But you have no friends in real life, really. You have no family now because you've alienated your entire family. Like, all you have is your online friends. That's all you have. And it is, I don't envy your position, like, at fucking all. It's incredibly sad, and incredibly sad not just through the lens of, this is a person that I love. I still love you, your family. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. But the memories I had with you aren't just null and void now. Like one of my favourite memories with you is 2 years ago. Basically, a lot of shit was happening in my life. A lot of my friends at the time were kind of deliberately just completely alienating me, kind of just making me feel like shit, just for no fucking reason. There was a band involved, and basically I played Boardmasters Festival. Decided I fucking hate every single one of these people. Every single person in this band, except the drummer, was trying their best to hurt me. Was trying their best to like completely deprive me of any kind of like sympathy or any kind of just warmth. Like, and it was all because I was just having a mental breakdown because of it anyway. I couldn't describe what was happening. I couldn't describe how fucking hurt I was at that time. But I went over to your house. Me and you talked for like 2 hours about it. And it's the only time in my life I've ever felt like you've ever listened to me. You bought me pizza, which was great. I mean, I did tell you I didn't have an appetite, so I had like a slice and then went, I can't do it anymore.
Here's a photo from that gig, by the way.
But that's the person that I wish I got to see more, other than this spiteful fucking individual that you are now. Like, again, you're allowed to be angry. I don't blame you for not really wanting anything to do with our mother, and I love our mother. But she's an incredibly flawed human being who I get along with. I love her so much, I couldn't live with. But like, it's just sad. Like, I wish I could have seen that more sympathetic version of you. Like, the one that actually, you know, like, gave a fuck about people's feelings and didn't try to, like, downplay anything. Like you downplayed our relatives' suicide attempt. Like, it really upsets me, again, not just from, like, the lens of you have been failed by every adult in your life, but also through the lens of, instead of using that perspective for good and, you know, doing anything with it, you're just sat on it, letting it fucking fester and just becoming an incredibly unpleasant person. Like, most of the time I would talk to you, even before everything kicked off, you were just kind of like incredibly self-absorbed, like, as a person. and it was very difficult to talk to you because you'd always make it about yourself, really. And I don't know, that could be more of like an autistic trait or whatever. You just like very like keen to tell people what's going on in your life, but all I'd ever hear from you when I went over to your house was, oh yeah, look at this new paedophile I'm exposing. Look at fucking, I don't know anything about you, but all you talk about is yourself. Like, it was all air. It was nothing. You weren't saying anything. Like, I don't know. And this isn't, again, supposed to be a diss track. It's just, fuck with that. Just an incredibly, I don't know. You're also flawed in ways that are incredibly similar to my mother, in fact. And I get how that could make it, very difficult for you and Mum to see eye to eye. But again, taking out all your frustrations on a fucking 15, 16-year-old is just not on. I don't see how that's in any way, shape or form productive. Like, I don't know, like, I work, I've got this place that I'm staying right now, it's also a shared house. I'm going to be moving soon. I'm actively trying to find a full-time job so I can just move into a flat. Like, I'm making progress. I'm constantly trying to work on myself, and whatever trauma I've gone through doesn't define me. It gives me perspective, and I try to use that perspective to help others, which I'm not trying to be like, look how great I am, but the only thing you do with your trauma is just make YouTube videos about it. I try to be interested in your interests. I will say, you forcing your book down my throat for like a year kind of was really annoying, and I wasn't intending on reading your book ever. It's not like I had anything against your book. I think it's a stupid concept personally, but that doesn't mean it's not a good book. I think, objectively, My Little Pony characters that are triangles with fucking Winx Club powers is kind of incredibly unoriginal. But I don't think you ever listened to any of the songs I released in any of the bands I was in. You never showed any interest in anything that I have ever done. But you expected everyone to like read your book, to fucking watch all your YouTube videos, to follow all this fucking endless drama that you bring upon yourself, honestly. Like, I think paedophiles are as bad as the next person. I hold a lot of guilt, as I'm assuming you do, considering both of our parents are paedophiles. Both our fathers are paedophiles. And I maintain an incredible level of guilt. So I realise the obvious point to make there for any people watching this would be like, oh, why did your mum date two separate paedophiles? Because I've had people say that, like, in person, be like, oh, she's got a type, hasn't she? They both groomed her. Just for a bit of context, Kosmik's father groomed her when she was like 15, and my father met her at 17 and then like got with her when she was like 20. It's all messy. I still consider that incredibly paedophilic. For sympathising with my dad in any way, shape or form for any period of time. I'm incredibly ashamed of him, as I'm sure you're incredibly ashamed of your father, but you gotta be better than that. You've got to do something with your life as opposed to just focus on them. Like, you have incredible potential. I think your illustrations are really good, and you've got a lot of potential as an illustrator and maybe even a storyteller, but you just don't push yourself to ever make anything actually original. Like, I think one thing that's always been important to me, and I think has always been important to everyone in our family, has been art. Like me, it's music, you know. For you and our little brother, it's always been drawing. My little brother would draw shit when they were like 9. I've never been able to draw. I'm envious of that talent, but it's just, I don't know. I just think your potential is being squandered in every single way possible. Like, you are a person who has been through so much, and you could honestly use that perspective to help people. You could become some sort of therapist, which, I mean, I've thought of becoming a therapist. That doesn't particularly appeal to me. I understand why that wouldn't appeal to you, just hearing everyone's problems all the time. But the point is, you could use your perspective, which is a very unique perspective. You could use your talents to help people, to, I don't know, to like, just be a better person to be around, to talk to. But instead you're just incredibly self-absorbed all of the time. And you kind of think that being like that is just like, nah, it's all good, it's my drag queen persona, which is like, I love drag queens. I've grown to love it as an art form. I've dressed in drag, like, on several occasions. I love it as an art form. Honestly, such a creative art form, but, and I understand, you know, finding a job is difficult in this fucking, you know, like, it took me so long to get my job, which I just work at Tesco's, honestly. So of course I don't really have much to be proud of, you know, I just got back from a shift, but you're not doing anything to help your situation. I think it's just incredibly sad. You're just in this horrible rut that if I was in your position, I'd be finding it difficult to get out of as well. But you're not listening to anyone except the people that agree with you. You're not taking anything on board that anyone who actually gives a fuck about you is saying to you. Like, I don't know. You're allowed to have whatever you want against someone as well, but like, I remember just like, I don't remember what I was saying, but every time anything would go wrong, you would instantly go like, right, I guess that's it. I guess no one in this family wants anything to do with me anymore. I guess I'm just that bad of a person, and you would just completely cut off from the family. It's like you were constantly begging for an excuse to just be separate from the family again, which again, is fine. Again, I completely acknowledge our family's a fucking mess. And therefore, you know, we are both fucking messes because of it. However, bit of transparency never fucking hurt anybody. Just saying like, hey mum, I love you, we don't see eye to eye. I would rather us have that level of distance, you know, us only see each other, you know, when really necessary. Because that's what that's kind of like the attitude I have with mum, is I've got my own life, I'm living it, I'm having a lot of fun, I'm growing as a person in truly profound ways. The person I was a year ago, I would not recognise, but I don't know, just kind of like pretending you were willing to dedicate a lot more than you actually were. Just kind of felt a bit disingenuous, like the fact that you were taking tip from our mum, taking money as some sort of carer, because our mum is mentally disabled, and you were going to help with the kids, which you never fucking did. You'd probably show up once a month at best, for a night, and then demand to be taken home, which happened more than once, and I know you're going to feign ignorance and be like, name one time, but that happened, you know. And it might be, you know, inconvenient for your friends to hear, but it's, I don't know. I have a great deal of sympathy for you, and it pains me that I even have to like make this video, because I've been fine keeping silent about it. You know, the manifesto was one thing. You know, eventually you left it alone for what seemed like a while. Now, a year later, you're still bringing it up. You're still fucking trying to get attention from it. That's the problem. Like, whatever the fuck happened, it's gone. It's immaterial. It doesn't fucking matter. But you're still trying to garner sympathy for it. Like, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you. I feel bad for you. But also, as much as it is, you know, the factors around you's fault, you know, like our parents, our upbringing, you know, my little brother's friends kind of being little dicks, but as much as it is their fault, it's also your fault. Like, you're the person who's in control of how you act. You're the person who's in control of, you know, the outcome, you know, honestly, like, everything could have blown over had you not made that fucking manifesto. And again, I maintain that it's a disgusting thing to do. Like, it wasn't even a short statement. It was 89 pages of pure vitriolic bullshit. And again, you're a person who is more than entitled to be angry. And I completely fucking understand that. I can't drive that home enough. I completely understand. If I was in your position, I'd be furious at the world. In fact, I am furious at the world. I am fucking sickened by the entire older generation all the fucking time. I'm sick of being made out to be this lazy piece of shit, but I'm not. And I'm sure, you know, you're sick of people's attitudes towards what you are. But all I'm saying is, you're just on the road to become the fucking problem. When you're 40, you're gonna also just be not progressive. You're just on the road to just becoming exactly what you don't want to be. Like, I don't know. Like, I love you so fucking much. We've not always seen eye to eye, and especially compared to our brother, we've not always got along, which is fine. Like, we're two incredibly different people. But it's incredibly saddening, honestly. Like, I honestly wish you well, and I hope that you prove me wrong in the future. I hope that you have a wonderful career. I hope you are able to, you know, create a wonderful family, even if it's, you know, not kids, fucking, you just have some cats or whatever, and it's you and your partner. I wish nothing but the best for you, but for the time being, you are just not helping yourself. You are stifling yourself. You're stifling your own progress. You're fooling yourself into thinking that you're making progress, which you're not. You're still saying the same bitter shit that you were saying a year ago. I just don't want to see you fail. I just don't want to see you go down the same path that Mum has, your dad has, my dad has. Like, I just think this entire situation is incredibly saddening. Yeah, I think that's enough ranting for me.